Mate, there is no way, there is no plausible way that you are even, you are not fit to shine his armor.
This is really harsh. I'm not fit enough to fucking shine his armor? I'm not even good enough for that? Can't even give it a quick...
I mean, you could be one of his squires. Is that how they say?
Squire. Yeah.
Squire.
You're saying I'm not even good
But
enough
it's, yeah, you could be a squire. Yeah. You could be Aragorn's squire.
This is really, really harsh. I thought we were friends. You've like, you know, the funniest thing is, I'm the godfather to your son.
That's true.
And you're just feeding it to me. So like, what does that make you?
Terrible person.
Yes, it does.
Well,
so for those,
at least I can admit it. So that's like points.
Okay, you've taken one step on the 12-step program because the first step is always to admit you have a problem. You've admitted you have a problem. Do you know what the 7th step is?
What?
Apologising to everyone that you've been rude to.
We might get to step 5 today, but certainly not step 7.
So
anyways, we're back for another week of Jon's Place, also known as the Basic As podcast. Well, I reckon one day it's literally going to, I'm going to drill that in so hard that it will just become Jon's Place.
Well, how about we get people to vote? What's better, the Basic As podcast or Jon's Place? And this is on the Basic Bogan channel, so it's like, it's really just crazy.
But you are Jon, so...
I am Jon.
Yep. But anyway, it's another week. What did we speak about last week? We spoke about...
me being Aragon and you being Sam from... If we were out of the nine...
I would take Sam. I would be Samwise Gamgee because
you're just
I'm
really
honourable,
good at walking.
Strong. Yep.
And just really good at walking.
Yep.
And hairy feet. That's like that's the only 2 characters, and you're short like him.
Oh, and emotional, emotional intelligence, courage,
also
ability to put up with someone's shit for a long time.
You're really mean to Gollum for no reason.
No.
He's very misunderstood.
Every time I eat a steamed dim sim, I look at it and I think of Gollum. I'm like, you are going to corrupt my mind.
That would make me not want to eat a dim sim because he looked terrible.
He did.
But steamed dim sims,
are great.
They're so delicious.
I know. That's like.
Would you rather eat a Pokemon or Gollum?
Pokemon?
Yeah.
Mate, imagine eating Gollum.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like a rotisserie chicken carcass that's been left on the floor of a mechanic's workshop.
For like a month.
And they've like thrown durry butts in it. And then it's addicted to a piece of jewellery. Nothing good's going to come from eating that.
It's addicted to a piston because it's a mechanic.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we spoke about the Pokemon thing last week, didn't we?
Yep. And then
we didn't come to a real conclusion on which would be best.
Definitive answer.
Oh, do we have emails from people today about that?
No, not yet.
We don't have them yet.
No,
okay.
not yet. No.
All right, that's all right.
The email.
We didn't even put the email in.
It'll be in the description.
Okay.
I can put it on the screen.
All right, cool. We need to know.
Yeah, we want to know what people think about.
Might even put a poll up, and we'll add we'll whittle it down to top 5 of what we think. Yeah. It's like, which one would you eat, and then you go for it.
So what we should do is your top 5, my top 5, and then because we would probably have different tastes, right?
Yeah, true.
So that's fair.
Why don't we just we'll talk about it and then we'll come up with 5 that we both agree on.
Well, we're having a conversation right now. And
we already spoke about it last week. I don't want to touch on it again.
Fine.
Sorry. What were we talking about this week?
Well, we ended on which, if I'm Frodo and you're Sam, that's basically it.
Yep.
And then you just...
I mean, you did the right thing in the end.
And then...
But... Jeez, you made it hard.
He bit his finger off. He didn't really do the right thing.
No, Gollum bit his finger off.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, he put it on and then he bit his finger off, so he didn't really do the right thing. Frodo's a piece of shit.
Yeah, and that's why... Frodo.
The godfather of your son.
Yep. Samwise did have a child at the end. And
Frodo...
what was his wife's name?
And Frodo drop-kicked that.
No, he didn't. He went and lived... He took the coward's way out and went and lived with the bloody elves.
Elves, he did do that.
Mate, you've just swapped one heaven. Like, when are you going to be happy, man? Like, you've got you have the Shire, the closest thing I can think of to like, you know, a physical, it's there sort of heaven. You know, when is it enough? That's another thing. He goes, no, this isn't enough for me. I'm going to go and live, you know.
Well, he's a flawed character, okay? He's not perfect.
Yeah.
And you've really hammered that in.
Well, now I realise it.
And then you've steamrolled me into being that character.
I
know I have problems. We've spoken about how I'm going to be doing ketamine. And obviously I'm going to have to probably do it twice, like as in two total rounds, because I'm such a fucked up individual.
Samwise didn't have to do ketamine. All he talked about was strawberries and cream.
And
that's
food,
enough for him.
Food. He didn't talk about food a lot. Potatoes.
He's a man of culture. Man of culture.
Not really.
What we need is a few good taters.
Taters.
Rats. Taters. Precious.
Potatoes. Potatoes.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
You can keep your nasty taters.
Yeah, because all he wants is a live fish.
Yeah.
So, in a lot of ways, Gollum is Japanese. If you think about it.
I think he was a human at some point, so he could have been of Asian descent.
Could have been. Anyways, we've wasted the first like 5 minutes talking absolute nonsense. Business? Well, I've been trying to get you on track, and you're like, you just want to keep rehashing.
We could literally review the tape and about you trying to keep me on track. We can review it.
You just want to keep talking about, like, you want to reiterate the fact that I'm the hero, I'm the real hero, and even though the story is always about you.
Like, yeah, that's definitely what I want to say. As someone who has now been classed as Frodo. So obviously that's what I'd want to talk about if I was Frodo.
Listening to you talk shit is a thirsty word. And not thirsty murk. Someday, I will be here, babe.
Okay. So, I wanted to ask you last week.
Yeah.
But, as usual, you completely stonewalled me and sidetracked us.
Yes.
And we talked about utter crap. Which is fine. It's fine. You know, we're here now.
Yeah.
But, as we mentioned last week, you have become a father. Billy is born.
That's him.
And I wanted to know, having not been I'm not a father myself.
Yeah.
And like, what's that like? Because mostly parents will say, you know, as soon as you have a child, most amazing thing.
100%. That's one of the first things I want to start off by saying is, like, people told me that it changes your life, and I can confirm that it does. Like, all of my waking thoughts, really, since he's been born, you know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was.
3 weeks ago now.
3 weeks ago, that, like, most of my focus and attention is just on Han and Bill. You know, before it was on Han and, you know, other things in my life like work, but like that is, it doesn't even, it pales into insignificance in comparison to thinking about, you know, I guess it's important, but when your child like comes into the world and you're just like, wow, it's like a big laxative for your heart, you know, and you've just soften it right up.
And you've just sprayed the bowl.
Yeah, you figured out a way to make something that I said that was beautiful into something really bad, really ugly.
Beautiful is subjective, so you're beautiful, subjective.
Mate, I was literally talking about how it makes my heart feel better, and then you just sprayed the bowl. You're a grub.
Do you know, someone said in the comment section that you pee sitting down. You must pee sitting down.
Why?
Because we were talking about UFC. It was one of the clips, and you just said you didn't like seeing someone's face like caved in by an elbow, and they're like, this guy must piss sitting down.
Yeah, maybe. But maybe it just means that me seeing another human being that's been battered to, you know, almost a point where they're maimed. Like, I don't think that makes me piss sitting down. But, fair enough, man. You can have your opinion.
But interestingly enough, as someone who knows you, you have actually seen worse. And like, I almost felt like saying that, but then I'm like, I can't say that because it's extreme. But it's like, that's probably why you don't want to see that. And I said it's subjective. And then someone else commented, and I was like, that's a really good comment. They're like, I'll draw the line where I want to draw the line.
100%.
And then I don't want to be judged on where my line is. And I said, that'd probably make the world a lot better place if we all did that. We all had our own line. And you say, that's my line. My line's here. And your line's maybe over there. And I go, oh, my line's here. But it's like, okay, cool. Well, you're allowed to do that. Not like, well, you should be on my side of the line.
No, that's true. And like, I said that. I was like, you can, like, I wouldn't want to take, if I had the chance, I wouldn't take it away from people to be able to experience it, because it's people's free will to be able to do whatever they want. And obviously people really love it. I get it. But for me, it's like, you know, when you hear little kids talking about it and stuff, I don't think that it's necessarily a good thing, you know.
And we specifically talked about that then translating into death sports, because that was in the death sports episode. And that, I think, very interestingly, because then where does the line get drawn? Because if everyone has their own line, at some point someone's like, yeah, I want to see someone get killed.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think that's a really good point that you've raised.
And that's kind of scary, because then it's like, oh, God.
Yeah, like at what point does it, do we get there? You know, but fair enough. I'm glad that you commented, and I hope you have a lovely life. And yeah, sorry for losing my cool.
So we have confirmed you do piss sitting down.
Sure.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sure.
That's right. Very Frodo-esque. I'm pretty sure he did that too. Sam, though, he pissed standing up. Like, real strong stream.
Yep, for real. All right, what else? What were we talking about next?
So we're still talking about you as a... So then...
Oh, yeah, as a father.
Yeah, so big sidetrack, as usual. Very big tangent. So I want to know, how are you going to manage that stress of worrying about Billy? Because...
Well, for me, it's not so much worrying about him at the moment. It's just enjoying the time that I have with him.
Okay.
It's like, you know, the things that you were worried about before, like your first child comes along, like I said, that they sort of like fade into the background. You know, it's not like they're not there, but your perspective changes, I guess. And
your priorities are different.
Yeah, like, for instance, last night I'd gone somewhere, like I was playing indoor. We got belted. Whole grading system's just not where it needs to be. Caboolture indoor sports.
Do I smell a conspiracy?
A little bit. But then I came home, and like I don't like losing. Something I need to work on. I'll admit that. But I came home, and as soon as I walked in the door, there was Han on the couch, and Bill's asleep, like on her shoulder. And it's just like, wow, nothing's better than that. You know, and I had people tell me that, you know, and I was like, oh yeah, how special can it really be? But it is, man. It's like, yeah, it's a little ray of sunshine every time.
That's good. That's good. And
I'm excited for you to experience it. You know, when you and Tegan inevitably have your first child.
Oh, I thought you were just saying I was coming over to meet Billy specifically. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to meet him either. He sounds like a cool guy, you know. Like, but then you're talking about me having children with Tegan, yes.
Yeah, because it's, your flesh and blood, and, you know, it's, your priorities will completely change.
What do you think about the people that sometimes say that having a child can be selfish because you want basically a mini you? You're like, Hannah and I work really well together, and we want to make a mini version of us. Because you ideally...
Who says that's selfish?
I've heard it. I couldn't quote it, but that people have said that. I'm sure you could Google it, but there's like a view saying that, you know, it's like a...
People these days, you know, like a lot of people I've spoken to within the past year, they're like, oh no, I couldn't bring a child into this world, you know, and it's like, Yeah, that's like a valid point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the times seem like they've never really been crazier, you know? But for me, yeah, it could be a little bit about that, you know, that you want, but it never really was about wanting a mini me.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see if I can, you know, raise a child to be whoever they want to be and be the best version that can bring something good into the world.
And teach them a little bit and then let them learn more.
Yeah.
And hopefully provide a better life for them.
For them, and then in turn, they might be able to provide a better life for other people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I couldn't really care less if he wasn't like me in any way. In fact, I'd probably encourage him not to be like me.
I'm going to encourage him a lot as well to not be like you.
Yep.
More like me. So he can actually be, you know...
He's doomed if that's the case.
He'll be an upstanding citizen, you know. Here's another question for you. What are you looking forward to most doing with Billy, maybe as a family, so you and Han?
Yep.
But then also something that will be quite special for you as a father-son moment?
I think... So I'll answer the second part first. I think one of the most special things that I can think of right off the top of my head is seeing him flourish at something.
Mm-hmm.
Like something that he's picked and you know he has an interest in and just sort of like being on the outskirts of it, but you know, not being like too, but just, you know,
watching him enjoy his own passion.
Yes, and making it possible for him to do so.
And being in the moment in his thing.
Yeah.
Doing whatever that is.
Yep. That excites me a lot. Because having experienced a lot of bad things in life, it's easy to get, you know, as you know, in your head a lot of the times, and some days can be darker than others. But when you see something like a child, you know, enjoying something so much, and they're just right in that moment, it's a really heavy reminder that even though you have this outlook of doom and gloom, there's concrete evidence right there that there's still awesome things in life.
Interesting. What's something you'd like to do as a family, do you think? So like when Billy's a certain age, you want to like do a certain thing as a family, like?
Obviously, it'd be awesome to travel if that's, you know, if
anywhere
that's a
in particular?
Oh, probably the UK, I reckon. Like I always wanted to go to America, but I've really been turned off America, especially after that guy told me that I pissed sitting down.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, I always was like, oh yeah, it'd be cool to go to America, but if I were like as a family, if we were to go to America, I'd only really visit places like Alaska, you know, natural beauty. You know, there aren't really other places in America that. But anyway, yeah, like as a younger person, like well, in my early 20s and stuff, like it was a goal to go to America, and it never really happened for whatever reason. Just wasn't in the cards for me. But one of the things that Han and I can agree, like we agree on a lot of things, but like in terms of travel and where we would both like to go on a family holiday, like maybe even, you know, with Han's parents and, you know, her brothers as well, because it's great to travel like that. We've done it before and it was awesome.
I'm not invited?
Well, you can come if you want.
Well, no, now I don't feel like it's genuine.
Okay, you're invited, John.
No. Now you're just doing it because you have to. You're on recording.
Okay. But well, I'd love to go to the UK and
cool,
do
by yourself,
like.
You fucking hope you have a good time.
Piss off, John. But yeah, I'd love to go there.
Yeah, I hope you have a fucking great time.
Righto.
So I have been to the UK.
Oh yeah, you have.
I only went to London, and
London.
Exactly.
Give us your best English accent.
Oh jeez, I'm not good at accents. I'm not good at many things, but yeah.
Give us a go.
Just let me get there. Oh, you sound like you're from London. Look, I'm probably not going to make it as a English actor.
That was shit.
Oh, okay, all right.
That was absolute shit.
It's really hard because I can't hear Well, I can hear myself, but it doesn't sound at all like I want it to.
Actually, it wasn't that bad.
But it wasn't that good either, and I know that.
Maybe
and that's fine.
Maybe you were a Londoner if you just experienced head trauma. That's what that was.
Maybe.
All right, give us a Scottish one.
Oh, Scottish. I don't think I can even do it. Scottish.
All right, well, I'll make it easy for you. Okay, so
I reckon if I did Scottish, it'd be more Irish.
Yeah. So okay, give me a Mickey and Tommy because that's Northern Ireland, so that's Belfast.
They're both from there?
They're both from Northern Ireland.
All right. How do they say it again? Now this is Anton. We're leaving.
Yeah, but he's from Dublin.
Okay, so he's from the south.
Yeah, he's from the whingy south.
Yeah, well, he was whinging. He's like, we're leaving.
Just every word, every
We're
second
leaving.
word was a whinge. If that's possible, every second word. My feet hurt. Oh, the bloody hell, the cost of an egg up here. Jesus, wouldn't believe it.
And then Mickey, 600p for a 600 rupee for a fucking egg. Fucking joking. 600 rupee.
It's fucking egg lake. We're fucking 600 fucking rupee for a fucking egg lake.
I'm never watching a fucking movie with you cunts again. That's it. Never fucking watching a movie with you cunts again. That's a real conversation because
it was a shit movie anyway.
It was Angels and Demons, the second Da Vinci Code, and the guy from
And we kept trying to convince him that the title was called Angels and Seamen.
But then one of the actors was also in the newest Jurassic World, and he said, "Spare no expense." Spare no expense. And if you've seen Jurassic World, which Josh and I are very big fans of,
spare no expense.
There's a scene where the guy's like, John Hammond would always say, "Spare no expense, spare no expense." And that actor was in this, so then we were saying, "Spare no expense."
Every time he popped up.
Yeah, and then we were saying, "Imagine if there was raptors in here." And then we were like, "Yeah, imagine if there was dinosaurs in this."
Yeah, and then Mickey stood up, he stormed out, and
he lost it. Because we were just like an hour.
Tommy thought it was funny though.
For like an hour and a half movie, we were just saying just the most random stuff.
Yeah. And one time we'll call him up. Because he's I'm pretty sure we've mentioned this before, but he's like a well-renowned celebrity chef in the UK. And he's like, he won a heap of, the UK.
Oh, Ireland, yeah, sorry.
Northern Ireland is, Northern Ireland is in the UK.
My mistake, sorry.
That's all right.
My geology's not the best.
Geography.
That one too.
Geology is the study of rocks.
Minerals.
Well,
that's a reference from Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay.
Minerals, Marie. Minerals.
Yeah. Well, your geology is great. Hopefully, Mickey would talk to us on the phone. If we get that,
Yeah, we'll get that. And I reckon, man, that would be funny.
Because you can call through that, and that'll
Yeah, well, we can do that.
Why do you get so defensive when I tell you how to improve your show?
Because I do everything. And we had this discussion last week and how you are so hard done by that you carried 2 things from the car, which is parked right out the front.
I'm still not letting that go.
No, I know. I know you're not. And you probably never will. You go to the grave with that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be an early grave because you're just so stressed.
Look, I'm not stressed.
Well,
I'm not stressed, but I want to strangle you.
You know, if anything, I'm trying to help you by doing a little bit more exercise from walking there at farmer's carry. Right, that, you know?
Yep, cool. Thank you. All right, so just get the roadcaster and we'll be sweet.
Okay.
Or someone can just get one for us. And
we'll
pay it forward.
We'll accept donations.
Yeah, we'll pay it forward.
We accept any and all donations.
But yeah, it'd be good to talk to Mickey because he's done a lot. And
he has kids.
He's got his dog, how do you say it? Bodhi. Bodhi?
Bodhi?
Yeah, I used to call it Bodhi, which isn't how you pronounce it. But he is one of the most... he's one of the most qualified search and rescue dogs in the UK.
That dog?
Yeah, that dog. Yeah. And Mickey and Bodhi as a team which is unreal.
And then Mickey is also a 5th Dan black belt in
judo. He went to the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah. So imagine you're lost in snow, and then Mickey's dog finds you, and then Mickey just comes and gives you a bit.
What? No! Chucks you off the mountain.
No, lifts you out, but then like you hit the snow and you're like, oh. And he's like, you're right. You're right. Oh, is that how he said? How would he do it? I don't know. I'm not good with accents.
You're fucking right, mate.
Yeah, fucking right, mate. Oh, you're all right down there. You're fucking right down there. Come on, get up.
Well, it's Anton's not doing it.
Is that Anton?
Yeah, that's
okay.
you've
All
gone
right,
back there.
all right.
You'll get there.
Okay, so we've established that just, accents aren't my strong point.
That's all right. You can work on it.
Yeah, there's always room for
Not
improvement.
my strong point either, but,
Yeah.
I appreciate that you're trying.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, what's your dream job?
Dream job.
No, like if you...
Like gynecologist to the stars.
Unless it's... unless it's Gwyneth Paltrow and then you have to deal with a goop.
I feel like that would be like, imagine if you were that gynecologist and they were like you A-list celebrities, like all the celebrities.
Yeah.
And then you just had to deal with that one. You'd be like, man, it fucking does stink.
You're a horrible man.
Because she released a candle that smelled like her vagina.
Did she actually?
Yes, at Goop. That was her whole thing. It was like a $60 candle, US $60, and it supposedly smelled like her pussy.
Just open it in a tuna.
Well, that was the joke.
Put the fan on.
That was
behind it.
That was the sort of a lot of the reference, and
that's very vulgar. I apologise for saying that.
But yeah,
I shouldn't have said that.
She doesn't look very well. If you saw her latest trial,
well, you're obviously not mentally well if you're making a candle that smells like your vagina. But I think she
also has like a very obscure diet. Like, I think she believes in like super extreme veganism. I have no facts to back that up.
But do you think that would, like, I don't even really want to say this. Do you think a diet is going to make your vagina-scented candle like appealing to, like, it doesn't make any sense, mate. It's got to be a publicity stunt. Imagine if on this show, like, one of the parts of not memorabilia but merchandise that we sold was our dick-scented candles.
That'd be disgusting.
It would be horrid.
Yeah.
Horrid. Just the thought of it.
Whose do you think would sell better, mine or yours?
I don't know. Probably mine.
Why? Are you circumcised?
No.
Yeah, see, you got fucking dirty dick cheese.
Oh, can you not say that? Far out, man. I was meant to eat dinner after this, bro. That's disgusting.
I can't help it if you've got that.
And someone else, like, we have just lost anybody that, like, was even remotely thinking about, like, continuing on listening, like, gone forever.
This episode or just...
Yes, because that is an earwig that will never leave them again.
Oh,
like,
earwigs. They're funny animals. Or insects.
Yeah.
We used to have a lot on the farm.
Did you actually?
Yeah, heaps.
Earwigs?
Yeah, the little ones with the pincers.
Oh, is that what they are?
Yeah, little black things, little pincers.
Do they actually, like, try and live in your ear?
They didn't try and live in my ear, but they live under rocks. I used to lift a lot of rocks up and there'd be thousands of earwigs. They were just called earwigs. I didn't know.
Okay. I thought that, yeah. My idea of what an earwig is
wrong.
Is completely wrong. Shows how much I know.
But yeah, okay, so let's skip over the gynecologist stuff. My dream job would to be able to do something like this, where I actually get paid, instead of just sitting here talking shit with you, is to be like the Australian Joe Rogan, if you will, where you just get to interview really interesting people, because I enjoy learning. I enjoy finding things out, and through my previous roles as a banker and then as a personal trainer, I just like talking to people.
You're pronouncing wanker wrong.
It's really harsh. They're people too, you know. Bankers are people too.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Sorry, couldn't help it. But yeah,
I think you honestly could help it. You did that on purpose.
Anyway, respect that is something that you, like, that's a goal. That's cool.
And then moonlight as the gynecologist.
Okay. Well, if you had the money that Joe Rogan has, then I think you could pretty much do whatever you wanted. You could moonlight as whatever you wanted.
Well, he's a comedian, so he does comedy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you would moonlight as a gynecologist for the stars.
For the stars, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Man. It's almost like you don't want to admit, like you don't want to. It's like when Homer goes, you remember when he gets taken to that new company, he gets a job at the...
Yeah.
And he's like,
with
Homer,
Mr.
what's your...
Scorpio.
Yeah, Mr. Scorpio. He's like, what's your...
Hank Scorpio.
Yeah, he's like, what's your biggest dream? And he's like, well, maybe one day own the Dallas Cowboys. And like...
That's right, yeah.
It sort of feels like that, like, for me to say.
Who does he get him in the end?
I think he gets the Arizona Cardinals or something.
Yeah, he gets the wrong team. And there's like one guy running and a ball hits him in the back. He's like,
How good is this Simpsons?
Because he's just like, sorry, it's not the Dallas Cowboys. And he's just like,
oh no, he's like, the Denver Broncos. Yeah, it's
right.
The Denver Broncos. Yeah.
Ooh, hits him in the back of the head. Terrible.
Hey, to be real though, like it would be, I don't know. Okay.
So you want to own the Denver Broncos?
No, I would enjoy
Dallas Cowboys.
I probably wouldn't enjoy owning a sports club. I would enjoy like being a coach, or like a, if I had the skill set and I knew that I couldn't lose or like it would be successful, I would be like a manager at an EPL club or like an AFL head coach.
Well, there's Ted Lasso, isn't that the show?
Yeah, that's a great show too.
Crazier things have happened. Maybe you can.
It's an awesome show.
Maybe you'll get Ted Lassoed into it, and they'll just be like,
everyone will hate me, but I'll have a positive disposition.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You just never know.
And he's terrible at his job.
Yeah, and
so
you would be.
Fit right in.
Have you watched it yet?
No.
No, you would be Nate.
Okay, I'll take that.
For everyone who knows Ted Lasso.
I'm assuming that's
Nate.
an insult straight away.
It's not.
I bet you it is.
It's not.
You called me Frodo.
He's the lead character, bro. Are we going to keep going on about this?
Yes, we are.
You know what I'm going to make? I'm going to get like little pictures like of your head, my head, but it's going to be cartoon, and then I'm going to put us on hobbit bodies, and you'll be carrying the ring to signify.
So you're going to use your own body and then give me... You're going to put me on your
You
body.
are
Yeah, you didn't like that one, did you? Huh? You didn't fucking like that, did you?
That's actually, you hit me in the funny bone. That's good. But yeah, I like your, what you said about it. Like
the gynecologist?
No, the talking about, interviewing people, like being like the Australian Joe Rogan. That's cool. Yeah, that would be my dream, where I'm able to help people in a sporting setting be the best that they can be. I think that would be cool. Yeah. To
elaborate onto mine, the ultimate goal, and I am going to try and achieve this, is to travel around Australia with like a mobile podcast studio.
Nice. And
interview like local people in small rural towns and try and like capture a little bit of that town and meet a few of the people and hopefully get more people to visit those towns.
Man, that's a cool idea. Han and I had a similar idea when we were driving from, where were we driving? To Melbourne over the last Christmas. And it was like, it would be cool to interview. Because you know how you drive through some of those towns and you're just like, wow, people have built a life here. 40, 50 generations even have built a life here in this small little town that's got like a cemetery, a bakery, like...
Yeah, I grew up in one of those towns.
Yeah, okay, yeah, true.
Yeah, so I know exactly what it's like.
Well, but I'm talking like smaller towns than that, you know?
Yeah, I've driven through them. I remember driving through from South Australia to Brisbane, and you cut across, and there's some,
you go like the Hay Plain way and stuff. Yeah,
there's some small towns there.
Oh, for sure.
It's just like a petrol station.
and you've got those like the silos. You know, the grain silos that are there. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, I think at some point, like, a lot of the conversations might be the same. Like, depending on where you go. You know, unless you, like, you ask them questions like, who was the craziest person that you knew that lived here? You know? Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, that's something I'll definitely have to cross over when I get
like,
there.
Oh, that's Darren. He once got a Columbine harvester and drove it into the part of the Shell Servo where they have the Bain Maries. It was crazy.
And then
Chico rolls everywhere.
And then he ran down and he stole some. That was his whole thing.
And then he tried to back it out, but the Columbine harvester thing was stuck in there, and it's still there. They built a whole new sliding door around it. Crazy. Bet you don't have anything like that where you come from.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Well, for a start, we don't have a lot of Columbine harvesters.
No.
Is it Columbine or Combine harvesters?
Combine.
Oh.
Combine. Columbine.
I get bowling for Columbine and Combine.
Yeah, Columbine. That's
mixed
very
up.
different.
Why did Dad call it Columbine harvester then? Anyways, doesn't matter.
Probably because he's not a farmer and didn't know, and just made
Mate, he grew up on a farm in Muntham, right? He grew up on a sheep farm in Muntham. He did.
He obviously didn't take anything in.
Yeah, whatever, mate. Whatever.
Yeah, Barry's a good, nice guy.
Yeah, good bloke.
Yeah, top bloke. So then, that's dream jobs. Yeah, you don't think your job currently is your dream job, training dogs?
Mate, I always... I was talking to Han about this the other day, and it was like, when I first set out to do it, I was, 25, 26? So 7 years ago, and like, I sort of reached the top of the game where I, in terms of like tactical dogs and dogs for law enforcement and military.
Mm-hmm.
And
so that was your peak?
Well, I sort of like got to the pointy end of it. Do you know what I mean? Where I was working with, special ops guys from like Vic Police and then the AFP here in Queensland, like a few times, and you realise at a certain point it's like here in Australia it's an uphill battle because it's not the same culture and it's not the same mindset that surrounds it as someplace like first off, you're dealing with like government bureaucracy when you're trying to negotiate contracts and stuff.
Always. Yeah.
And they're always trying to lowball you and cut you down. Whereas you go to somewhere like the Middle East and they just throw money at it. They respect the fact that you're the professional and you know your shit and you know how you're going to run the program and stuff like that in order to get them what they want. And there aren't any obstacles. Whereas here in Australia, it's very much like, you're just dealing with, like any dog trainer in Australia, unless you're a very special person like my mate, Steve Maloche, Big Kahuna. He's one of the only, and one of my old sort of like, he used to come along to a lot of jobs and I'd pay for him to come. He's in the army now, he's a commando, so I can't say his name. But RG would come along, so that's just what I'm going to call him. He'd come along and he was awesome. But so of all the people that I've sort of met, besides a few other guys that I can't really say their name either, there's probably a handful of people out of hundreds of people that I met that, if I had to spend a day with them, I'd probably shoot myself. So it's not the ideal industry to be in.
I see.
Dog training industry is a very egotistical one, where people will talk shit about you behind your back, try and like bring you down in the eyes of other people.
So tall poppy syndrome?
For sure, man. Absolutely.
Very status driven?
Very status driven, absolutely. Everybody's got, like, it keeps, like, dog training goes in these cycles of, like, new age techniques and ways to do things. It's like dogs haven't changed that much, in the past 60, 70 years. It's just that the drives have been bred out of them for a large part, and so, yeah, some things do change, but for the most part, it's people trying to reinvent the wheel and put their, own spin on it so that they, rise above everybody else. And
they got the new
the new thing, but it's oftentimes it's a different way of wording it, putting some stupid spin on it. Like, it's my advice to anybody that was like, oh, I want to become a dog trainer, I'd be like, okay, probably consider that it's a very saturated market.
Okay.
You're not going to make a lot of money out of it, realistically, if you've got morals and ethical standards that you live by. Not going to happen. But you can make a lot of money out of it if you're not worried about taking people's money and, sort of cutting it off emotionally. But, yeah.
Just, you mean like charging people for charging sake? So just like,
yeah,
you sell them sessions and then they
yeah,
just keep going, even though you're not.
Yeah, it's like, as a dog trainer, it should be like, there's like, I was talking to someone the other day, and like they're in the mental health industry, and they're like, so our job, if you're worth your salt, it's to make yourself redundant. Okay? And the same with dog training. You shouldn't be dangling the carrot. It should be to make yourself redundant in the least amount of time as possible.
Yeah.
And so if you do that, then, like, there's always, just the way that it is, there's always going to be people out there with dogs that they don't understand, they don't have a good line of communication with, and they need help with. There will always be that until people are educated better, or as society just drops off, like pet ownership. That could happen as well. But
it would take a very big change. It's not
very big change, huge change.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of dog trainers that'll be like, all right, so I'm just going to give you this bit of information, and then, then you're going to pay for the next session. And for me, it just doesn't sit right with me to do that at all. All to them, that's their prerogative. They can do that. It just doesn't sit right with me, and that's why I'm not a good fit.
Yeah.
I'm not a good fit for it. I love dog training. I love dogs. I love seeing people happy with their dogs and their dogs happy with their owners, but it's not the industry that I fit in that well, I don't think. And it's probably a negative mindset to have about it, but I've done it for long enough now where I've,
you've given it a good shake.
Given it a good shake, like you were when you were a PT.
Yeah, and I'd say very similar things.
Very similar things. Yeah. Very similar things. Hey.
And again, it's almost like the exact same way. You want to become redundant, but people then become reliant on you.
Yes, that's it.
So,
and as soon as, like, I've had a lot of people that, like, you get that hint very early that they're like, okay, they're using you as a crutch. They're just paying you so that you come and then they can feel good walking their dog. And it's like, no, that's not what this is about. Even though you have the means to do that financially, I can't keep coming back. Whereas protection dogs, it's a different story, because it's like a fighter that you need to maintain their currency, their sharpness, like all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
And what? So there's not enough of that work, or you just think it's
there's not enough in Australia.
Okay.
In places like
because we don't use
America,
dogs enough.
No, it's just not part of the fabric of dog ownership, or like people's understanding. You know what I mean? Like, whereas other places in America, in specific states, the UAE protection dogs are pretty big as well. Other, like, Middle Eastern countries where there's like a really high level upper class. In the UK, it's bigger than it is here in Australia as well. But yeah, not so much here.
That's fair. That's interesting. As someone who has watched you train dogs, I'm petrified of dogs. Like, if they ever got the canine unit out on me for whatever reason, I'm surrendering straight up.
Well, a lot of people do, unless they're heavily influenced by like methamphetamine or something like that.
I've seen quite a few different dogs bite your arm that's been padded, and then I've seen your arm afterwards.
Oh yeah, if it's a good dog, you're going to get a puncture for sure.
And that's scary. It's scary to, and like I'm like, I hope that chain holds, because they were doing it like, on the chain.
Oh, yeah, like civil agitation.
And you're just like, I hope that dog doesn't break free because there ain't much in between me and that dog.
Like, that is a part of dog training that I absolutely... Oh, there it is. Oh, well.
We'll have to say that.
It wasn't really interesting anyway. But sign us off, would you?
What I want to talk about next episode on this is, and I've thought about this, and I want to combine. I want to ask AI to train how an AI would train a dog, and then ask a dog trainer if that's...
I think the AI would have a good answer because...
Well, we'll test it out.
Because if it's, what are we talking, Chat GPT?
Yeah.
From what I understand, and I don't understand a lot about AI, that is the best one, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so if it can scrape the internet...
As far as I'm aware of.
If it can scrape the internet of like all... my only worry is that...
It's been fed everything up to like September 2021. So, and like you said, there's nothing new's come in. So it's got like...
That would be a super interesting thing to do.
Number 4, well, we're going to do it next week.
Cool.
So number 4 has like over, I think it's 100 billion like inputs, or so like I don't know what they're called, but like things.
Okay.
So it's got a lot of...
I'll leave it at this. If you are out there and you are having problems with a dog, reactivity, aggression towards other dogs, towards people, or your dog's super drivey, just won't listen to you. Like, okay, for a dog that's super drivey, just won't listen to you, you need to find a way to like motivate that dog and make yourself more important. But a dog that's like fearful or like proactively aggressive towards other dogs, other people, and you find a dog trainer that says, let's be gentle, positive reinforcement only, you're going to waste your money.
Okay.
You're going to waste your money.
Bit of a contrarian thought there, and that's fine. We'll leave it
that's
on that.
That's a contrarian thought to the majority of society and people's mushy ideas of, not mushy, like cushy ideas of like what they want to provide, but dogs don't think like that.
And on that note, we've really rolled
Needs
Josh
to be
up.
balanced.
We've rolled Josh up like a dog.
So not too far. Definitely not.
He's probably going to bite me.
Definitely not all.
After the cameras stop rolling, he's going to really rip into me.
Balance is important. Balance is important in life.
Next week. If I don't, it's been real. Josh is a ravenous dog, and we'll see you next time.